Well, an inquiry into the UK's biggest health scandal will release its final report on Monday. The scale of what happened is almost unprecedented in British medical history. More than 30,000 people in Britain were infected with HIV and hepatitis C after being given contaminated blood products by the National Health Service in the 1970s, 80s and 90s. Many have since died, while some unknowingly passed infections on to their partners, who then also died. Now, victims and their families have spent decades fighting for compensation. Joining me now is Karen McGugan. A reminder, we will have full coverage of the infected blood scandal inquiry conclusion tomorrow here on the BBC, and you'll also be able to follow it live on our app. Now, the weather with Matt. Live from London, this is BBC News. Hello, I'm Azadeh Moshiri. Welcome to the programme. President Biden's national security advisor is due to hold talks with Saudi Arabia's crown prince in the Saudi city of Dhahran. It's the latest. Well, he said justice has been delayed for far too long now. Prime Minister David Cameron, when he was in office, apologised for the scandal. Several governments have presided over this. There's still criticism, isn't there?
There will be 2017. And she's talked since about...
Well, now it's time for a look at today's sport with Jane Dougal. This is BBC News, the headlines. Hello, I'm Azadeh Moshiri. Welcome to the programme. President Biden's national security advisor is due in Israel to hold talks with Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. That meeting in the league season reaches its climax later on Sunday. It's in Manchester City's hands as they chase an unprecedented fourth top-flight title in a row. This is BBC News, the headlines. Well, let's return to what's been described as the UK's biggest health scandal. A public inquiry will announce its final report after more than 30,000 people in Britain were infected with HIV and hepatitis C after being given contaminated blood products by the National Health Service in the 1970s, 80s and 90s. Earlier, I spoke to Karen McGugan, a journalist who has investigated the UK blood scandal for her book, The Poison Line, as well as blood scandal victim Stephen Smith, who contracted hepatitis C from a contaminated blood transfusion when he was only 22 years old. He told me how the issues began after he had that blood transfusion in 1985 after losing 4 pints of blood when he accidentally put his foot through a glass door. Now it's time for a look at the weather with Matt Taylor.
The wires and state media in Iran. What is the latest that we know?
Well, Nikki, you've presented it exactly right. There are conflicting reports. Now, state media has been saying that a helicopter in a convoy of helicopters, 3 helicopters, we really do have to stress we don't know exactly what's happened here.
Yeah, as you say, I'm just seeing on the news wires that state TV again airing prayers for the safety of the president and the foreign minister saying that things are under control and rescue teams are doing their work. But we know that the weather conditions are very bad in that area, don't we?
Yes, and in fact, state TV has been rolling on images of these rescue operations of people reportedly trying to find the helicopter. And you can see there's fog everywhere, which understandably would make those rescue operations political, domestic turmoil in the country, as well as serious economic problems. He's someone that is a divisive figure still in Iran. But of course, this is the president, and you're hearing about a potential serious accident he may or may not have been involved in. It's going to be a top priority for the country and for state media.
OK, Azadeh Moshiri, for the moment, thank you very much. I know you're going to go back out and keep an eye on state media. If you are just joining us,